The killing of Muhammad Yusuf was deliberate. To me, it was deliberate to ignite a war.
We back our army.
Let's travel down to Shekau, a community in Yobe State, to talk to Shekau's mother.
I think there is an element of truth that Abubakar Shekau is indeed dead this time around.
You have Boko Haram, your children are Boko Haram, every household has Boko Haram.
So zai buga lissafi in za ka shiga take za ka shiga.
All right, thank you for staying with us. This is Daybreak, reaching you live from the nation's capital on Trust TV. And we just had a newspaper review with Suleiman, Deputy Editor-in-Chief, Daily Trust. Now, we will be looking at, highlights, from that trip where we put together the documentary on Shekau. I mean, Shekau, at the mention of the name of Shekau, it's a name that a lot of people tremble
yes.
Because of what the person that people come to know the name
has done.
Has done.
A lot of lives lost, a lot of communities, put down. Like, once you hear the name, you know that there's nothing good.
And I'm sure many people do not even know that it's actually a community.
Yes.
So it's a name that was
Yobe
adopted.
State. Yes, it's a local government in Yobe State.
So Abubakar Shekau, the former leader of Boko Haram, bears that name. And because of that name is a name that many people cannot imagine. Once you mention Shekau, everybody thinks, oh, terrorism. Well, we had one of our correspondents who went to Shekau, met the mother of the leader of Shekau, the leader of Boko Haram, Shekau, and had an interview, a conversation with her, and just generally, put together a documentary on that. And that person is Gaza Yakubu. He's in the studio with us to, just to give us highlights and on what to expect from that documentary. Remember, I told you it's going to be airing by 7 p.m. today on Trust TV and also by 10 p.m. So he would just give us his experience while on the field. Well, good morning.
Good morning,
and it's good
Gaza.
to have you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Well,
yeah.
When one watches the trailer, and see the explosions and the gunshots, and one imagines.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, exactly. Talking about Shekau is so interesting. It is so interesting because of the devastating effect, because of the impact he has had so much in the community, and talking about
negative.
Yes, yes, the negative impact is what I'm talking about in Maiduguri, especially, and then Nigeria at large. When you hear Maiduguri, in fact, what resonates in the minds of the people is terror, Boko Haram, and all that. But it is interesting at the moment because Maiduguri, yes, is healing again.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Well, let's actually talk about the mom. Because I can't even imagine what she must have been going through while everything was going down. When you met her, what kind of aura, what kind of woman was she, or is she?
Well, when I was given that assignment, the first thing that came to my mind was what every random person would think. But I said, that's what journalists do. Go to dig out fact. And when you see the woman, she's a poor woman. You see a very she's humbled, because our first conversation with her, on a normal, she wouldn't have obliged or granted the interview, but she welcomed the idea and she was like, why not? What's there to hide about? This has been her story. It has been her feelings. It has been her pains. And, she regret ever conceiving, that was the extent.
When a mother says that, then, something else.
You would imagine that one will say that there can be no lost love between a mother and a child, but in this case, would you say that has been lost?
Yeah, exactly, because at a point I remember she mentioning the fact that, she can do without the fact that she is the mother of, the so-called terrorists. And, aside from that, but her regret has ever been the fact that, the negative impact he has had on the society. And, at the point she was like, it's been a long time she saw him and she doesn't even wish seeing him. Yeah, and you know, so many regrets. They just need to watch out for the documentaries, or you people need to watch out for the documentaries.
We're really
so you can
looking
get
forward
more
to
in-depth.
watching it, like because I just read a bit, and apparently he left when he was a lot younger, and then came only once.
Exactly.
Yes, and you have his uncle saying that he was a disaster to them, and you know the district head saying he was a terrorist. You know, he must have caused a lot, you know, for the community before even leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the uncles will tell you that, look, if I'm not sure he's gone, I wouldn't have been talking to you right now. But for the fact that I'm confident that he's no more, then I can be able to grant this interview. And that was how, you know, we got some latest revelation that ordinarily we wouldn't have gotten from those relatives. And, you know, they will tell you how little he was and what he was doing. In fact, many people have the opinion that, hey, this guy was really a craze. Because at that tender age, he left, and then it took a long time before he came back. And when he came back, it was with a different ideology. And when they started listening to him, it wasn't what they were expecting. So the dad, you know, at that point said, look, I don't want to have anything to do with the son again because he's beyond me. So
his dad was still alive.
Exactly.
While he went to join the Boko Haram.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I am not sure of that because according to information, credible information, they will tell you that he left for, you know, Islamic school, and then later on he came back and then left again. But the second time he came back to the community, it was a different thing altogether. And well, we're not certain whether he had joined the group then. But of course, our observations should tell us that, of course, those ideology, probably somebody would have been popping those ideologies into him.
I'm imagining a scenario where he would travel and go for school, and he will not be seen for a long time before he gets back. I'm also imagining maybe, could it be for the Almajiri kind of a schooling he was doing while growing up?
Yeah, of course, yes, because when you talk about schooling, and not mostly, you know, most of them start with the Al-Majiri school, and of course that was what he was doing. His father was an Islamic teacher, and then he understands the Quran. With the information we got, he understands the Quran, and he could tell when a child is going, you know, it's going the other way.
Okay, Gaza, let's talk about you. What made you decide to do a documentary on Shekau? And then in the course of your travel, you know, where, aside Shekau, what other communities did you visit, or what other states did you visit?
Okay, I think it is not right to talk about me. Let's talk about Daily Trust and putting me at the forefront to do the documentary. Yeah. You know, we visited the IDP camps. Yes, we visited Shekau community. I've never imagined that Shekau was a community. Like you earlier said, you know, you will just imagine that, yes, it's that big terrorist. But yes, it was actually a community. And when I looked at the community, I was thrilled because I never imagined that such a community could have this name, you know, attached to itself. The IDP camp was a source of concern because when you look at the IDP, you think about the devastating effect of, you know, the aftermath of the Boko Haram thing, and then the life they have been subjected to. And then, yes, we spoke to some numbers of Boko Haram, you know, members, and then we
ex-fighters.
Yes, and then we also, you know, the victims generally. The women that were married to this, you know, fighters, we spoke to them too as well, and generally it was an interesting tour for me. It was an interesting moment for you know, for me engaging this set of people.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. It's a must watch, I would say. I would have to repeat that, you know, for our viewers to know that it's a must watch. And perhaps you are thinking, well, I do not have Star Times decoder, I do not have free to air decoder, all I have DSTV. Well, you can watch on social media. So it's going to be streamed live on Facebook, on YouTube, and all our social media handles. So if you're not following us on social media, perhaps it's time to do that right now. Go to the Facebook page, Trust TV, and also go to our Instagram, our YouTube channel. You just click the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see every other update that we upload on our YouTube, not just the documentary on Shekau. So I think that it's something that you want to do. Keep a date at 7 p.m. Just so that you can have an insight of what is Shekau really. You know, is it a name of a person or a place?
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you feel? How do people feel when they hear the name Shekau?
Exactly.
Imagine passing through, you know, a particular state and then you see Shekau written. You know, what comes to your mind in that instance? Fear or?
Yeah.
Exactly. So perhaps it's time to unravel all of that mystery and all of that uncertainty around the name Shekau. Well, thank you so much, Gaza, for coming and giving us tips, you know, highlights on what to expect.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, a rising star will be joining us in the studio who is doing excellently well. She's a musician from the north, and you need to listen to her when she sings. I mean,
she's a hijabi musician. Yes, a hijabi MC. She's a rapper, and you don't have a lot of them, you know, in Nigeria or in the world today. So.
Really. All right, so stay with us. When we come back, you get to know who we are talking about. Please stay with us.
The killing of Muhammad Yusuf was deliberate. To me, it was deliberate to ignite a war.
Bring back our army.
Let's travel down to Shekau, a community in Yobe State, to talk to Shekau's mother.
I think there is an element of truth that Abubakar Shekau is indeed dead this time around.
You harbor Boko Haram, your children are Boko Haram, every household has Boko Haram.
So zai buga lissafi in za ka shiga take za ka shiga.